But
We always
how are
do.
you feeling right now?
Everybody thought I want to say hated Carroll. Like I used to go to USC games all the time too. So it's like every thought I hate Carroll. I'm like, no, I hate the fact he's gonna be gone in 3 years. If that dude was 60, I'd be like, oh my God, we're gonna have a dynasty. But it does feel like grown-ups are in charge now. It feels like we're gonna be steered the right direction. The only thing I'm worried about is 4 years down the road. And I think most people are, but they're not thinking about it now because Raider fans don't necessarily think into the future. We think like, hey, right now. So that's the only real concern I have is down the road. Next year is going to be a building year. I don't expect us to make the playoffs, maybe 8-9 wins. If we make the playoffs, great. But Vegas still has us at 6.5 games. So it's the same as it was last year. I think year 2 is where we're going to see some growth. I think year 2, we actually make a playoff run. We'll get to the playoffs. And I've been getting eaten alive on X about Geno Smith. So I'm not very high on him. I've never been high on him. Never really liked him. A lot of us Raider fans roasted him when we played him in 2022. But now we're all hell Geno. So, I think we're just trying to make the best of a situation. We were in a horrible situation the past couple of years. So we're making the best out of it. And I think that's what the Raiders are trying to do, save face, because they don't want last year, the year before, to happen all over again.
What do you think about Jack Jones being cut today?
I'm not a fan of Jack Jones. I'll tell you some stuff off air. I'm not going to put the dirty laundry out, but not a fan of him. Not a fan of his attitude or his demeanor. He reminds me of, oh my God, I had the guy's name and I forgot. Marshawn's cousin that played for the Chiefs. Great plays, a lot of great plays, but then he'll have plays and games where he's completely gone. So, and you saw him get burnt time and time again. So I was like, I knew he wasn't going to really be there for Pete Carroll. He said he wanted to play for him, because Carroll can coach him up, but he doesn't fit Carroll's mold. Not a great tackler, not a great athlete, not great size. So right off the bat, if you follow like RAS scores and things like that, his athleticism is leaps and bounds below than all the other corners we have. I'm like, he's the odd man out. There's no way he's playing nickel. He's not equipped for it. So I was like, he's gone, and he's gone now. So I was like, it is what it is. I think they're going to let the rookies play.
So especially with him being gone now, we lost Nate Hobbs. So there's 2 starters off of the roster. Jacorian Bennett should be healthy, ready to go. That dude made leaps and bounds in his play style, but injury is a concern with him. Plus size is a little bit of concern, but he plays like the size doesn't matter. So that's cool. Who do you think is going to step up this year? You think DCam's going to be the guy?
Yeah, Richardson played a lot last year and he was forced into it. It was his rookie year. I don't think people realize cornerback and safety is some of the hardest positions to evaluate in the NFL. And more often than not, coaches will tell you that it's hard to find shutdown corners. And so you get guys based off their athleticism or what you can coach up. Richardson has all that. He can cover. He's fast. He's strong enough. He's big enough. So it's up to Pete Carroll to put him in situations where he's going to be able to use his skill set. And he kind of has the same skill set as Jacorian. They're not, great catchers of the ball. They're not going to make amazing diving catches, but they're going to lock guys down and they're not going to let passes be completed. So I think he makes a leap. I think Stokes is going to be coached up too as well. I kind of did a piece about Stokes. Stokes was the man in college. Didn't really develop well in NFL. We saw him playing Green Bay. He wasn't that good, but he's a first-round talent. Besides Patrick Surtain, he was the number 1 corner coming out of college and in the SEC. Like, it was either him or Surtain. That was it. That's how high of a caliber people saw him as. It just didn't develop very well. So I think Pete's going to get his hands on him and turn him into a good corner. I think he'll start, by the season's over, if not the beginning of the season, if we don't draft somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had a couple of cornerbacks come in for private workouts. We've had Benjamin Morrison, Will Johnson from Michigan. I would love to see Will Johnson fall to the 2nd round. I don't think he will, but hopefully that injury will scare off some teams and he'll slide to the 2nd. And if the Raiders can grab him at the 2nd, I would be all for that. I mean, if we picked him in the 1st, I wouldn't be mad about it, but the injury is a bit of a concern for me. Who do you think? I mean, there's a lot of speculation going on. Number 6 overall draft pick. Who do you think the Raiders go with? What's your guess? Raider Nation, I got to tell you something that has been bothering me. Bank of America just announced another data breach, and here's what's really messed up is they sat on it for months before telling anyone. The average company takes 277 days to report a breach. Think about that. Your personal info could be out there right now, and you wouldn't even hear about it until next year. That's crazy. That's why I'm pumped up to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. These guys are legit. They'll alert you if they find your phone number, your email, your social security number floating around on the dark web. What I love about Aura is they'll let you know fast if anyone tries to use your info to access your credit or your bank accounts. None of this waiting around for months nonsense. They back it up with a $5 million theft guarantee. Now that's some serious loyalty, nation. Plus, they've got a bunch of other features to keep you safe online, all in an easy to use app. Look, you can go to my link, hour.com/RDP, to try it out for free for 14 days. No obligation. That's enough time for Hour to find out if any of your personal data has been exposed. You'll learn about it before one of these companies is forced to actually notify you. I highly recommend you doing this right now. Your social security number could be out there right now, and it might as well be written on a bathroom stall. But if you haven't been hit with fraud yet, why keep rolling the dice if it's because protecting yourself feels overwhelming? I get you, but just let Aura do all the hard work for you. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to these data breaches, and if you don't want to either, go to aura.com/RDP, try it out for 2 weeks for free, and trust me on this one, nation.
So I think Will Johnson's out at number 6, just because of his injuries. He didn't do the pro day, didn't do the combine. It's been lingering around. That's going to push teams off. I don't think it's going to push him to the second round because he's too much of a talent. I think he's going to be a late first rounder, maybe mid first rounder. Somebody's going to nab him. If you've looked at PFF, they've adjusted for that. He's falling to 12 to 15 on a routine basis. I think that's where he goes. We might trade back and get him. He is the prototype of what you want as a corner. I think he fits Carroll's scheme and Graham's scheme really well, and he's a lockdown, shutdown corner. If not, then obviously the obvious answer is Jeanty. You're going with Jeanty. I think it's silly to draft a running back in the first round like that high, because you're saying, okay, this guy's going to be Saquon. That's what you're saying, drafting that guy at 6. He's going to be Saquon Barkley. So if you get that, amazing. But if you get something that's even a little bit lesser than that, you're going to get that protectivity in the second round. So I really hope they go defense, but I don't see them going into the offseason, without a plan for Geno Smith to help him out.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, when you look at the running backs so far that have come in, Aston Jeanty is one of the two. We got Caleb Johnson from Iowa who's come in for a workout. I would be ecstatic with Jeanty just because when I watch him play, and when you watch the actual game tape, not just the highlights, even when he's not getting big yards and he's not breaking tackles like crazy, he's still uber productive.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I just think that when you got a guy like Aston Jeanty, and a lot of people knock him because he played at Boise State, and I've heard in the comment section so many times of, yeah, well, he didn't play good against Penn State, and so that proves everything you need. What do you mean he didn't play well? He had over 100 yards, over 22 receiving yards, and he broke 19 tackles.
Yeah, he was like breaking 2 or 3 tackles. He was getting hit, a yard behind the line of scrimmage and still getting yards. He was making the first guy miss there. I'm like, no, his team was out.
Right.
He was the best player on the field.
Penn State has the 7th best defense in college football last year, 9th best rushing defense. So of course he's not going to put up 300 yards in that game. Yeah. But the point is, how many running backs were able to put up the numbers that he put up that are out of the Big 12 or the SEC against Penn State last year? Nobody.
None.
None. So I don't think that, I would never say draft a quarterback or draft a running back at pick number 6. I would never do it. But when I watch this dude play, I'm literally having flashbacks of my game cheat code for getting Barry Sanders on my Madden NFL. Like 99s all the way across the board. I think he's going to be a generational running back that just doesn't come around too often if he has a long and healthy career. If he has 6 good years in the NFL of that level of production, he could be seeing the Hall of Fame in 15, 20 years from now.
Oh yeah.
The downside, like you said, is he gets to the NFL if he's just a good running back, but not elite, not Hall of Fame caliber in the NFL, then you wasted a 6th-round draft pick because you could have
People,
gotten
yeah.
the same production in the 2nd round. So I agree
People
with
people
that.
were writing off Saquon Barkley up until last year. I
Yeah.
called him a generational talent, and he's like, oh, he has injury history. I'm like, if you watch him play, he is better, bigger, faster, stronger, and better with the ball than anybody on the field at just about any given time. And I've said that over and over again. And up until last year, people were arguing with me. They're not arguing with me anymore about that. I'm like, he's a generational running back. He's one of those guys that's
Yeah.
just a little bit better than everybody else, just like Derrick Henry. He's just a little bit better than what else is on the field.
I
And
was so
that's
pissed that
enough.
the Raiders didn't get Derrick Henry last year. I was so
We got oh man, but who do we pass up for him? Was it Jihad Ward? I think we drafted before him a pick or two. I'm almost
yeah,
positive. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, we passed up
I
on
think
Derrick
it
Henry in the
was.
draft too, by the way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean,
no,
we passed
and
up
yeah,
on everybody.
yeah.
Lamar
I
Jackson.
think he'll be a generational running back if he stays healthy. If we go the offensive route and we get a running back in the first, I don't think we're touching wide receiver in the second, probably third or fourth. We got to get linemen. Like we got to get somebody. It's just people want to hype up our line. We gave up the 4th most sacks, 5th, whatever it was, 50 sacks in the NFL. Our run block was horrible. Only 2 of our running backs were at the league average, Abdullah and McCormick, for yards before contact. So our running backs were getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. I think Mattinson's yard before contact was like a yard, and the NFL average is like 2.5. So he's getting hit a yard faster than anybody else in the NFL. Same with White. You can
Yeah.
blame that on them, but at the same time, our run blocking was absolutely atrocious. Our guards, Glaze will probably be coached that, but we need some help on the offensive line because if we go into that with a rookie running back and Geno Smith will be running for his life, and Jeanty is going to get hit behind the line of scrimmage on a routine basis.